Hi friends, my name is Akhil Ahmed, and in this particular video tutorial I will show you how we can implement incremental data load in SSIS using lookup transformation. So this is my profile. I have 13 plus years of experience on Microsoft technologies, especially in SSIS and SQL Server. So the agenda of today's video tutorial is how to do incremental data load in SSIS using lookup transformation. So let's jump to the demo. There is an emails.csv file situated here, so that I want to be loaded to a SQL Server table. So this file contains 5 columns: ID, first name, last name, email and gender. So what I want is, if we add any new record to this particular CSV file, or if we update any data to this particular CSV file, those records should be either inserted or updated to the SQL Server table as well. So if there is a new record, then it should be inserted, and if we do any modification to the existing record in this CSV file, then that particular record should be updated to the SQL Server table. So we will do this using the SSIS. Okay, let me open the SQL Server Management Studio. So I have a database SSIS here, and I will be creating an audit log table. So audit log table will be used to track the number of records inserted and the number of records updated by the SSIS package, and for which table the process is running and for which package the process is running. So all these information I want. So suppose how many records got inserted, how many records got updated by SSIS package. So I want all those details. So that's why I will be using this audit log table. And this is our emails table that will hold the data from the CSV file, the final table, and then this is our ZZ emails updated table. So this is the table that will hold the number of records updated. I won't be using the OLEDB command transformation in this SSIS package, because OLEDB command transformation updates data one row at a time, so it's a slow. So instead of using the OLEDB command transformation, I will be inserting the updated records to this table ZZ emails updated, and later I will update the data from this table to the main table. So I will share this particular script along with the source CSV file, and you can find the link to download these things in the description of the video. So let's open the SSIS package. So this is our Visual Studio 2019. First of all, let me just drag and drop the execute SQL task, which we will be using to create the audit log table and the updated table. Created audit log, I can call this one like this. Let me edit it, make a connection to the SSIS database. So this is the connection that I already created recently. Click OK, and now I can copy this one. So what it is doing, if audit log table won't exist, it will create the audit log table. If emails table won't exist, it will create the emails table. If ZZ emails updated table will be there, then it will drop the table and it will recreate, because I want that every time this table should be cleaned, so that the same data that was updated last time, it should not be updated again. Okay, so let me just copy this script, paste in the SQL statement. Okay. Now let me just drag and drop the data flow task, and then we are going to load the CSV file. So let's use the flat file source. Browse the file, CSV file, emails, open, preview. So data seems good. Okay. Now let me drag and drop the lookup transformation here. So connect flat file source with lookup transformation, edit. You can leave these cache mode as it is. I have explained them in the lookup transformation video. If you want to see, then you can you will be seeing an option on the top right of the video. So specify how to handle rows with no matching entries. So you can click on redirect rows to no match output, and then under connection you can use results of a SQL query. So we can write select ID from emails. So this emails table is this table. Okay, so we just want to do a join on the ID column, so that's why we have selected the ID column only. So this is the available column. So these are the columns from the flat file source, and these are the columns from the SQL Server table. So let's map the ID column from flat file source with the ID column of the SQL Server table. So it is not matching, cannot map the input column ID to the lookup ID because the data type does not match. Okay, click cancel. It is failing because the data type in the flat file connection is by default string 50. So let's go to advanced ID, change the data type here, 4 byte sign integer, click OK, and then edit, yes, OK. Now let's try to map it again and change it to redirect rows to no match output, and then select ID from emails. Okay, so it got matched successfully. Now click OK. Now what we want is that there will be two output from this lookup transformation, the matched output and non-matched output. So the non-matched output will be the records, those are the new records. So the new record should be inserted to the our emails table directly. Okay, and there will be a matched record output, so the matched record should be inserted to the ZZ email table, and then finally they will be updated to the main table. Okay, so let's configure this. Select emails table from here. Okay, and let's select ZZ email updated table from here. Okay, this table does not exist as of now, so let me just create this table. Yeah, so this table is now here. Edit, select this table, mappings. Okay, so this configuration is done. Now we just want to update the data to the main table from this ZZ updated table. So that's the only thing that is remaining. So write an update statement here, update data.
Okay, so now we just need to write the update statement to write the data from ZZ email table to the email table. So let's open the SQL Server Management Studio and write an update statement here. Update to update A from A not join ZZ email A.id and here let me remove it. A dot first name equal to B dot first name, A dot gender equal to B dot gender. So this particular query should run fine. Okay, so you remember we need to log the number of records inserted or updated as well to the audit log table. So let's declare variable updated of integer type set updated equal to row count. Okay. Now let's write an insert statement for the audit log table. So it contains package name. So our package name is right now package.dtsx. Table name is emails, records inserted, and for records updated, current date time will be the getRead function. So this will work fine. Just copy this particular query from here and then put the query in the execute SQL task. So just select the connection, write the SQL statement here. Okay, okay. So this is fine. Updated records will come from this updated variable, which will be filled from the row count. However, for the inserted records, let's declare a SSIS variable records inserted, and now let's configure the data flow task. Because the non-match records will flow from lookup transformation to lookup no match output, so we just need to use a row count transformation here, and then inside row count transformation we can select the records inserted variable. Okay, okay, and now go back to the updated data, open it. Now for the records inserted, put a question mark here. Okay, and go to parameter mapping, and then click add, and under variable name you need to select the records inserted SSIS variable. Data type is long, so that is good, and under parameter name you can put 0 here. Okay, So now if you execute the SSIS package, 1000 number of records should be inserted to the emails table. So you can see like from flat file 1000 records got read, and then all went to the lookup no match output because in the reference data set the emails table was empty. So all records were treated as new records and they got inserted to the emails table. Now if you open the emails table, you will find 1000 records here, and if you check the audit log, so you can see that 1000 records got inserted to the emails table for the package.dtsx. Okay, and this is the time of the package execution. Now let me just rerun the SSIS package. So if I rerun the SSIS package, so all 1000 records should be updated, because now in the lookup transformation, it find the ID for all records, and then it treated them as updated records because the records already exist in the SQL Server table. If you uh, check the email table, so you will find 1000 records there, and if you check the audit log table, so you will find that 1000 records got updated. So this is the default behavior, like how the SSIS will work as of now. However, what we want is that it should not update all 1000 records, but it should update only the records which got actually changed. So if I modify a record in the flat file source, if there is a change, only that particular record should be updated, not all records should be updated. Okay, so to make that particular change, what we will need to do, open the CSV file. So if you see, we have ID, first name, last name, email and gender. So normally first name won't change for a particular person, and even the gender won't change. So most of the time, like for this particular data set, only last name or email can change. So we will put a condition in the SSIS package that if the value of the last name or email change, then that particular record should be treated as an updated record. Otherwise it should not be treated as an updated record. However, if you want to check on all columns, then you can check, it's up to you. So let's open the SSIS package, stop it. The updated records will flow through this particular path. So let's just disconnect the connection here, delete it, and now we need to use a conditional split transformation. So let me use a conditional split transformation here, and then under lookup transformation, as of now we are selecting just IDs from the email table. Now we need to select the emails, and we will call this column as test emails. Okay, then we will select last name as well, and we will call it as test last name. Okay, so now we are selecting two extra columns, emails from the emails table in the reference data set, and last name as test last name. I have given the emails as test email because just to distinguish the columns from the reference data set and from the flat file, because in the flat file as well the name of the emails is emails, and if I don't give the name of email column as test email from the SQL Server table, then it will be hard to identify the actual column name, because the names in the flat file and the name in the SQL Server table, they are very similar. So just to distinguish them, I have given the emails as test emails and last name as test last email. Okay, now click on columns. So it is saying that column emails does not exist, so I think the column name is email. Okay, columns, by default it select all the columns from the flat file source. However, to select the columns from the SQL Server table from the reference dataset, you need to click on this checkbox. So I just clicked on this, and then I clicked on this one as well. So now it will select the test email and test last name as well. Okay, so these two columns I can also use in the conditional split transformation, just to verify if the data got changed between flat file connection manager and between the SQL Server table. So click OK. Now map the lookup transformation with the conditional split transformation. Configure conditional split transformation. So now what we want to do is that I want to check if last name from the flat file is not equal to dash last name. So this will check if the last name from the flat file and the last name from the SQL Server table, they are not similar, then they will be treated as updated records. Okay, and then I can put an OR condition here, that if email from the flat file is not equal to the email from the SQL Server table, then they will be treated as the updated records as well. So this is our condition, and so now we have put the condition for the two columns, last name and email. If you want to include more columns here, then you can just put this or condition. You can add multiple columns here, so that should be fine. So click OK. Now map the updated records output from the conditional split to the ZZ email updated table. Click OK. So now only updated records will come out of this conditional split transformation. So just execute the package again. And now right now you will see that 1000 records came from the flat file source, 1000 records came from the lookup as a match output records. However, from the conditional split transformation, no records were sent to the updated records table because no record was changed actually. So this is the what we wanted to do. Now let me actually update the data in the CSV file, and then let's see how it will behave. So suppose I change this email address for the ID column. I change email address. Maybe I put AA underscore. So email address got changed for the first record, and for second record, let me change the last name to Kumar. Maybe. So now I updated these two records. Okay. And now if I rerun the SSIS package, so you will see that two records should be updated. So you can see that two record got updated here. So if you check the audit log table, you can say that two records updated, and in the emails you will find those that AA got appended to the email address, and the last name of the second record got changed to the Kumar. So that's it for today's video, and guys, if you like the video, then please click the like button and do subscribe to our channel to see more videos on SQL Server and SSIS. Thank you so much.